This year I'm finally committing to these book series, starting, continuing, and hopefully finishing them. You literally could not get away from last year. Footnotes, appendices. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna go through every single book series that I want to continue, hopefully finish if possible this year. We definitely have mostly fantasy, but there's a couple romance series in here as well, and I think maybe one literary fiction series. So some of these I've started and I really want to finish this year. Some of these I haven't started. Some of them only have one book out and we're waiting for the next one. So with all of that being said, let's just get into it. Okay, so first up I have two Tahira Mafi series. I have finished the Shatter Me series, so one of the series I want to continue this year is, I'm not sure what this series is called. I think it's The Republic. It might just be like Shatter Me 2.0, but because it says it's a Shatter Me novel. But I think that this series is called The Republic. So I have read Watch Me last year when this came out. The new book in the series, Release Me, is coming out later this year. And then another series by her that I want to continue is this Woven Kingdom series. Last year I read the first two books. I do have book 3 and book 4. And I think that book 5 is sort of maybe talked about release this year, but not confirmed. So hopefully I can read these two books and hopefully the third one that comes out to finish up this Woven Kingdom series. Some more young adult fantasy that I want to get to this year is the Red Queen series. I own book 1, 4, and 5, kind of random, but I haven't read any of these and I would really like to get to this series. I think I put Red Queen maybe on my 26 books of 2026, definitely on my winter TBR, so I really want to get to at least the first book and start off this series. Then I have Assistant and Apprentice to the Villain. I think the third book is out and the fourth one is coming out. I haven't started it, but I haven't heard any bad reviews about this series. I feel like everybody loves this series so much and it just seems like a fun time. Like nothing too serious, but just really fun. So I would really love to get to this series this year. I feel like along a similar vein, we have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm pretty sure there's a novella as well, but I just have the 4 main books. I have not started this series either. This is getting kind of embarrassing. I didn't realize there were so many series on my shelf that I haven't started. But anyways, I would really like to get to this series this year as well. And then also by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, we have the Inheritance Games trilogy. I know that there's a lot more to this series. It continues with like the Hawthorne brothers and everything. I don't see myself continuing those based on the reviews. Even people who really loved this series don't seem to really be enjoying the rest of it. So I'm definitely just going to start with the trilogy and then see how it goes. But I think my intention is just to read the trilogy. Again, I have not started this series, but it does seem like a really fun time, so I'm excited to get to it this year. And then another young adult fantasy that I think got hype around the same time is Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. I have not read either books in this duology, but I really hope to get to it this year. This is a really random side note, but I've been wanting to read a book in French just to brush up on my French. I used to be fluent, but I haven't used it in like 6 years at this point. And Dance of Thieves is randomly on the French Kindle Unlimited. There's ACOTAR and Dance of Thieves. Everything else is very like indie authors, so I just don't really know like where to get started on that, but I did see that Dance of Thieves is on there, so I kind of want to read this in French, but we'll see. TBD on that. But anyways, this is another series I really want to get to this year. Okay, throwing it back to a little bit of an older fantasy dystopian series, we have the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. This one I have read. I've read books 1 through 5. I'm just missing the last book, City of Heavenly Fire, that I need to read this year to finally complete the series, and I'm so excited. I wouldn't say this has been my favorite series ever, but it is just like a fun time. I think if I read this when I was a teenager, I would have had an absolute blast. But I just think it's a little young for me at this point, so that sort of takes me out of it sometimes. Still really enjoying it, and yeah, only one book to finish it off. Okay, keeping it going with a little bit of an older series, we have the Inheritance Cycle series, which is Aragon, Eldest, Brazinger, and Inheritance. This is the original series. It's these 4 books, and then I think when Aragon was celebrating its like 15th or 10th year anniversary, the author recently decided to release Murtagh. In terms of reading the series, I really want to read the original, and we'll see how it fares, and maybe I'll pick up Murtagh. I have read Aragon last year, and so I just need to read these 3 books to finish up the series. Next up, we have the Six of Crows duology. This is another one I really want to get to. I've heard nothing but good things. I feel like this has such a strong fandom. I read the Shadow and Bone trilogy over the last 2, maybe even 3 years. I finished it last year, and so I can finally read the Six of Crows duology. I didn't love Shadow and Bone, but I heard that that's still like a common opinion and people still love the Six of Crows duology. It's very different, so I am really excited to pick this up. I also have the duology that comes after this, which is King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, but I think this year getting through these 2 would would be amazing progress, so that's all I'm gonna hold myself to. Then we have another insanely popular duology, which is One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. Again, I've heard nothing but good things about these. I have not read either of these as well. I'm really excited for it, and I'm pretty confident I'm gonna be able to get to these this year. Alright, next up we have A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. This got recommended to me by a friend. It sounded really good, so I'm really excited. I don't know too much about it. I haven't read any of these yet. The only book that I read by V.E. Schwab is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I really liked, but I think it's very different to her fantasy, like her proper fantasy series. That was more of like a light fantasy. I heard this is really good. I also have Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which is another trilogy for which a new book is coming out this year. I might get to that trilogy this year, but I think for now I'm going to focus on the trilogy that is completed. Next up we have We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars. This is another young adult duology, fantasy duology. I don't know much about this, but I just always saw it when I was going to the bookstore and it looked really good, and honestly that's all I have to say about the series. I haven't started it either, but I am excited for it. Then we have Throne of the Fallen and Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco. The third book in the series is coming out this year, which I think is Throne of Nightmares. I did read Throne of Fallen last year. I have not read Throne of Secrets. I liked Throne of the Fallen. I can't say it was like my favorite ever. I'm excited to still continue on in the series. It's following different characters in each book, so it's sort of like same world but different characters and different storylines. So even if I didn't love the first one, I think I still might like the rest of the series. Then we have The Stars Are Dying and The Night Is Defying. This is the Nightfall series. There is a third book in this series. I think it might be coming out this year, or perhaps it came out very recently. I have not started this series yet. I am really excited to. The books are stunning, and yeah, it just seems like a really interesting world, so I'm really excited to read this. Then we have Heartless Hunter and Rebel Witch, the Crimson Moth duology. I did read Heartless Hunter last year, and I want to finish up with Rebel Witch and finish off the duology this year. I did really like Heartless Hunter last year. I think I rated it really high, 4 stars. It was really good. I had such a good time with it. I loved these characters, and it was so good. It was so good. I'm not sure if this series has a name. We have 5 Broken Blades, 4 Ruined Realms, and 3 Shattered Souls. The premise of this series seems really interesting. I haven't started it yet, but I am really excited to get to it. I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. Then we have a series that you literally could not get away from last year, and that is the Kindred's Curse saga. We have the first 3 books. The 4th book is highly anticipated. We have a title. I'm not sure if we have a release date for it yet. We have Spark of the Everflame, Glow of the Everflame, and Heat of the Everflame, and then it's going to, I think, conclude with Burn of the Everflame. But I'm so excited for this. It sounds really incredible, and I just know that I'm gonna love it. Okay, next up I have the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I love this series so much. So we have Serpent and Wings of the Night and Ashes of the Star-Cursed King, which make up the first duology, which I have read. Then we have Six Scorched Roses, which is a novella that you technically are supposed to read between the two. I did not read this novella in order, but I still really liked it. You could honestly just read it as a standalone. It's really good. Then we have The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, which I read last year. And then these are the 2 that I still need to read this year. We have The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk and Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. Slaying the Vampire Conqueror I think is a standalone, but it is still in the same universe. But The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk is the second book in this duology, which is the Shadowborn duet. I really love this series. It's like a vampire romantasy, but it's really good. So if that interests you, I would definitely recommend it. It's really good, and I'm excited to actually finish up the series this year. And then we also have the first book in the 3rd trilogy. There's only gonna be 3 trilogies in here, but we have the 3rd book, which is The Lion and the Deathless Dark or something. I don't know, I might be butchering that completely, but we have first book in the last duology, the Bloodborne duet, which is coming out at the end of this year. Okay, next up we have The Lord of the Rings. Not the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but all the other books that take place in the same universe, the Middle-earth universe. There's like 20 books or something crazy, and I really want to get to some of them. I really want to start this series. I'm not under the impression I'll be able to finish this series this year. I have read the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. I read the trilogy last year. I finally finished it, and it was really good. I think that the writing style just takes me a little beat to get into because it is quite dated, and so it's just a bit different vernacular than one would use. And because it was originally written by J.R.R. Tolkien and then it was edited by his son Christopher Tolkien, there's lots of like addendums, footnotes, appendices. Like it's a little bit of almost a study. Like I think part of it you get lost in the story, and then there's other parts where you're like putting other pieces of the puzzle together. But anyways, I love this universe, and I really want to read more of the backstory of everything and the lore, and this series is known as the foundation for like all fantasy, so I really want to read it. I pulled the Book of Lost Tales Part 1 and Part 2. This is where I'm going to start this journey. I would like to get through maybe like 4 books in this series, something like that, just to kind of get a proper ways into it. Before we move on from fantasy, I have a few which have the first book out and the second book is coming out this year. I'm pretty sure these are all duologies, but anyways, the second part to that duology is coming out this year. Starting off, we have A Language of Dragons. I read this last year. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it so much. It was a little different to other fantasies in terms of the premise, and I thought that was so much fun to follow along. And the second book, A War of Wyverns, is already out. I think it came out the 1st of January. I'm not sure, but I know that it's out already. Then we have The Rose Bargain. I also read this one and I also really liked it, of course, because I want to continue the duology. The second book is A Thorn Queen, I believe, and that is also coming out this year, obviously, because all of these have second books coming out this year. This one was so much fun. I'm really excited to see what happens and sort of where the second book actually takes place. Then I have Metal Slinger. I read this one recently. It was so good. That cliffhanger was no joke. It's what everyone talked about when they read this book, but I would say even before the cliffhanger, this book was really good. But then, of course, an amazing cliffhanger. And yeah, I need the second book immediately. I think it's coming out in the first half of the year, so I'm really excited. Then we have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is the first book in the Stonewater Kingdom. I have not read the first one, but I have heard nothing but amazing reviews about it, so I have no doubt that I will probably enjoy it. And then last we have When the Moon Hatched. Again, I have not read this one, but I have heard amazing things about it, and the next book does come out this year. I am really excited for both of those. Super quick, I have one literary fiction series, which is Beartown. This is a trilogy. I have not read the first book, but I really want to. I'm so excited to get into this series. Like, I feel like most people rate this book 5 stars, so it really can't get any better. Okay, then we have the Addicted Calloway Sister series. These are not in order, and I'm also missing 2 books. I don't own them yet. Before the beginning of this year, I did read the first 2 books, so I do have quite a few books to get to. But I feel like this series at this point is like kind of iconic, and I just want to be a part of the people who have read this. But also, after reading book 1 and book 2, I did really enjoy it, and I want to continue on the journey with these characters. And then switching it up a little, we have a hockey romance with Unsteady and Unloved. It's part of the Undone series, I think, and there's another book adding to this series coming out this year. Yeah, I don't know too much about the series. I haven't read either of them. I just saw one really strong recommendation for it on TikTok. I'm excited to read them. I'm hoping to get to them during the winter season because I feel like hockey romance, this is the season for it, so I'm really excited to read these soon. And then I have a cowboy romance series. I have the first one, and this is not the second one. I think it might be the 4th one or the 3rd one. I just saw it on Book Outlet and I knew that I had the first one, so I knew that I was going to be getting probably the series, which is why I don't have all the books in the series and not in order as well. I'm really excited for this. I love cowboy romances. I've only ever read an Elsie Silver cowboy romance, but I think they're really fun. I love this genre so much, and I've heard good things about this. So again, I haven't read either of these, but I'm excited for these probably come summertime. And then for a bit of a harder hitting series, we have the Skylands series. This is a romance series that I've heard described as a bit more emotional. I haven't read any of them, but I do own the 3 books that comprise of the trilogy, and again, I'm really excited to get into this. And then finally we have the Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates series. Before starting this year, I did read the first 2 books in the series, but I want to continue on the story and see what happens and see how this messy, chaotic group of people get their things together and get their things in order and sort everything out. So I'm hoping to finish up this series this year. I know that there's going to be more books. I know that Daisy Hates is going to get, I think, 2 more books, is what the rumor mill has been saying. This would feel like completing the series to me. That is our last series that is on my radar this year. Those are basically all the series that are top of mind for me to get into because they make up a lot of my physical TBR. There's a few other books on my shelf, whether I've read the first one or I haven't, where there is like the rest of the series out, but I don't own the rest of the series, so I really want to focus on getting through the books that I do own first, which is how we've made up this list of books. Alright, and I've compiled all the stats and stuff for the series, and I realized that I forgot 2 series to talk about really quick. I have Shield of Sparrows. The second book in this duology is coming out this year, but I have read the first one. And then we have the Alex Stern trilogy, Deadbeat. The last book is going to come out this year. I have read Ninth House and Hellbent. So to conclude, I am in the middle of 14 series. I have 19 series on my shelf which are not started, which is crazy, so that's a total of 33 series that I want to read this year, and that would take me 83 books to complete, which is kind of crazy, but so we'll see how far we get. I don't think I'll be able to finish all of these. Hopefully I can get that down to like a reasonable number for next year. So let me know if you guys have read any of these series, if you recommend any of them, which ones should I start with. If you're interested in any of them, stick around. They might be in reading vlogs. If you have any requests for that, let me know. And yeah, that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you in the next one very, very soon. Bye!